everyone for joining us today for our webinar. And as you know, today we will be actually talking about the project management base and how Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central helps you to do it better and helps you to manage your projects more efficiently. Okay, I think we have a chat function, so I think if we have any issues or any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat and we'll get to them when we can or in between segments. But basically, we will be doing a run through of, or I just want to give an introduction of what we're going to do today. So first, I have my colleague Casey, who will run you through on the business management base. And then we have a guest speaker today with us, Raymond from Pagera, who will be touching on e-invoicing and the PayPal network and why it really is the future or the way to go for future forward businesses, right? And lastly, I will be sharing with you about the MDEC SME Grant. So this grant is actually for the Malaysian companies to take advantage of a special, I would say, subsidy for you to actually digitalize your business. Okay, so without further ado, let me hand over to Casey.
Let's share my screen now.
Yeah.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. First of all, I would like to say thanks to each of every one of you for your willingness to attend our today webinar on the introduction of project management features in Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central. The objective of today's webinar is actually for us to introduce and show you guys on what we have and how it can help you on your business operations. Of course, I hope everyone here can learn and explore something new from today's webinar, since you have invested your time here today with us. Okay, without further delay, let us start our today's webinar. My name is Katun, or you might call me Casey. I am one of the functional consultants that currently work under CRT Insights Technology with around 3 years experience in this industry. As a functional consultant, my job scope is actually to understand and assist our client on the ERP software implementation. Where the ERP software here, I refer to the Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central, which is actually relationship with others. We have those partners that we have relationship with it. Okay, it's just one of the product that currently under CRT, as we did also having the partner relationship with other software or platforms such as Acumatica, JetReport, PayPal, and so on. Of course, you are most welcome to contact any of our salesperson if you are interested to know more on the details for those products that I mentioned just now. Okay, let us move on to today's agenda. So as what you can see here, there are total 5 topics that we will go through today. First topic will be the job introductions. In this topic, we will walk through those user interface and tools that are available in Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central for the job module, or we can also call it project module or project management. Anyway, it's just the terms that Business Central use. Then the second topic will be the job order. Is the document that project management should create inside the Microsoft Dynamics 365 BC whenever there is a new project or new jobs coming in. Okay, third topic we'll talk about the job purchase. At this topic, we're able to know how Business Central link those outsourced purchase of material or service in the purchase document to the job order. Okay, next will be the fourth topic. Will be talk about the job sales. Okay, for this topic, we will show how can user view the customer and convert those sales invoice directly through the job order. Okay, because all these features is called is linked together. So last topic we will talk about the job journal. So in the job journal, we will show how user can post those internal inventory consumption or record those internal cost accrue or utilize in order to complete the specific job or process. So for whatever that you consume internally or those expenses you consume, that those costs accrue due to these specific jobs or project, you can record it through the job journal. Okay, so these some of the features and tools that are available in the job module for Business Central. Okay, so let's have the next slide. Okay, let's start our first topic today. Okay, the first topic today will be talk about the job introduction. So in this job introduction, we have 5 subtopics. First, I will show you guys on the project manager dashboard, because I believe most of yours that attend today webinar is actually might not know what the dashboard look like inside the Business Central as a project manager. Then of course, second, we will show also the interface of the job order document inside the Business Central. And of course, we will also show the job journal, how is the interface and how it look like in the introduction part. And of course, we will also introduce the resource timesheet functions. Okay, resource timesheet function is actually one of the features in the Business Central for the company, no matter you are a project manager or the whoever, as long as you expect your user to record their actual time spent inside the specific job to calculate the cost and bill your customer, resource timesheet will be one of the features that can help you to have a overview on the actual time spent from your employee or your workers toward a specific job. And then lastly, we will show the list of the job WIP. Means that you're able to know that how Business Central maintain those WIP costs or sales for a specific job. Okay, this one is more related to the finance. Okay, of course, standard we have different methods for the WIP calculations, but there is no right or wrong for which WIP is being selected. It's totally depend on your CFO or your finance manager to decide how you want the WIP to present in your balance sheet or your P&L. Okay, so let us go to the first slide of the page. Okay, so from here, what we can see is, okay, let me hide this first. Okay, so from here, what we can see is this will be the project manager dashboard whenever you first time log in into the Business Central with the role equal to project manager. So means that if you are logged into the Business Central as a project manager role, this will be the first interface that you will see inside the system. Okay, so then from here you can see there is a different cubes, and also there is a different shortcut button over here that you can click on it, and it will direct link you to the specific page. So for example, if I want to direct go to the job list page, I just click on the jobs, then it will link me to the job list page. Of course, if I'm the first time user for this Business Central, I might not know all these shortcut key, I can just use the search function. Okay, so for the cubes below here, you can see there is an invoicing cube group. So you can able to know that any jobs that is upcoming invoice, means that any job that the invoice is they will have gonna create the invoice to our client soon, or any jobs that invoice already due but we yet to create in the jobs, then we can see is there any outstanding here. So then we can, as a project manager, we can convert the specific billing to the sales invoice for our finance to bill to our client. Okay, so of course we're having also the WIP group to see any WIPs that is not yet been posted into the balance sheet or P&L. Then of course, is there any jobs that has been completed but the WIP has not yet posted to the GL? Then of course, lastly one is very clear cut, is any job that has been over budget. Of course, the over budget here is referred to the total job budget compared with the actual cost. So this is some of the cubes that are available. So if today you scroll down, okay, when you scroll down, this one is still on the dashboard, because the dashboard you can scroll down. So when you scroll down, under the insight past tab, we're having the My Jobs, and also we're having the different chart, different, of course, this one can be designable. So this one is more detailed toward the account schedule design and also the chart design. Okay, so over here, what we can see that I have my job list. So means that in this company, if for example, I have multiple project managers in this specific company for this database, and I will only want to see those jobs that belong to me, means that I'm the project manager for those jobs, then the my job will only show those jobs where I am the project managers. Of course, if I want to see also others job, I can also add in. But by default, it will be only showing those jobs where I am the project manager. So if today I create new jobs and I put myself as the project managers, then the job will be reflect into my job list. And then of course my chart will also auto reflect based on my job. So I'll be able to see the actual total price, budget total price, and also if there are any price variance between my actual and the budget. So below I can also, okay, because the screenshot, I didn't screenshot below, right? Below we can have the job profitability and also job actual cost versus the budget cost. So all these charts will be helpful for the project manager to see that and compare their actual spend versus their budgeted cost. And of course, the latest Business Central features also allow our client to actually integrate their Power BI. So if you know that how Power BI look like, means that you can design your own Power BI and link it to your specific role. It means that into your dashboard below here, we can link it. So later on, I can show you when we go into the system demo part. Okay, so let's move to the next slide. Okay, so this is the detailed process flow in the standard Business Central job modules. So from here, we will put the scenario that means that whenever there is a new jobs or new project coming in, as a project manager, the first step that you need to perform inside the system will be you are required to create a new job card, means the job order card, and then in each of the job order card there will be have multiple job task line. Job task line can be your SOW, means your scope of work that you got to your customer, or what is the task or what is the phase to be complete to be performed in order for you to complete the whole job. So in one job you have multiple job tasks, and in order to complete a task, what is the planning line that you will insert? Means that how many resource you will allocate in order to complete the job, or how many inventory or item will be consumed, or what is the budgeted expenses in order to complete the task. So means that one job card will have multiple job tasks, and one job task we will have multiple job planning line. Okay, so for job planning line, there is three features for us to record our cost and expenses into the job planning line. One, it can become from our purchase document. Purchase document refer to, it can either come from purchase order or invoice. So for today, example, if today we are required to purchase something, no matter it's a raw mat or it's a service from our supplier, in order to complete this job, we are required to create a purchase document. Means that we don't have the inventory on hand, or we need to outsource the service from our supplier, then we are required to create a purchase document and link the purchase document into the job. So then whenever I pause the purchase, the cost will reflect into my job planning line. Well, for those inventory that I have on my own warehouse, means that I might purchase previously, but when I purchased previously, I didn't record into my job. So means that I only consume part of the previous inventory in order to complete this job. So I can use the job journal to pause the inventory consumption. So when I pause the inventory consumption through the job journal, then my cost will record into my job planning line. Same goal, is there any admin expenses or any machinery depreciation or whatsoever overhead costs, those things, right? Those internal part, I can pause those costs through the job journal. Is there any resource time? It means that if no matter I want to use timesheet or not, I can also use the job journal or timesheet either way to pause my resource expenses, resource cost. Resource cost means that resource, there is two types. One could be the employee, means the person. It can be your employee or your worker, and one could be your machine. So standard Business Central resource can be two types. It could be either your person or could be a machine. So person means your workers. So then you can do the resource allocation in order to plan your jobs. So you can allocate your resource accordingly with the correct cost and also the time, so you will be able to see the whole time frame in order to complete the whole job. Okay, so for each job, the three features introduced just now is for the cost recording into the job planning line. Okay, for the job planning line, we have three line type. Line type means that it could be a budget line, it could be a budget and billable line, or it could also be the billable line. Okay, the difference here is normally budget and the billable, these two is either could be budget or billable, is for the fixed fee project. Okay, because in current world trend, there are two most common project type that been used. It could either be a fixed fee project or is actually a time and material project. Fixed fee project means that I already pre-agree the price upon the sign the contract with the customer. Means that customer agree on the specific price for the project. So means that one is considered fixed fee project. No matter how much cost I spend in order to complete this project, then I will need to pay by my own company. I will only bill my customer based on the fixed fee. So that one is considered as a fixed fee project. So then I will create a billable line for the one, for example, it's a 1 million project. So I put the billable line with the billable price equal to 1 million. And then the budget will be all those costs that I can foresee in order to complete this job. I will put it under budget. So if any unexpected cost, extra cost spent in order to complete this job, then they will become over budget. So means my job will be over budget. So this one will be the way how we use for the fixed fee project. We will use billable and also the budget. But for those time and material project, time and material project means that I will quote my customer, means that I will say that in order to complete this job, I might need 20 days. But actual time spent, I might only spend 15 days. So if when it's a time and material project, I will only bill my customer 15 days instead of bill them the total cost, the total amount. So it means that when there is a time and material project, I will use budget and billable like that. Of course, I can combine both to use if there is those kind of scenario in your project. Okay, so then whenever those line with the billable wording, so it could be a budget and billable or only billable alone, we can convert the billable price into the sales invoice. Means that from the job order itself, we can convert those price going to be billed into the sales invoice and bill our client. So then all the recognized or the WIP costs and WIP sales will reflect into the job cut. So then from time to time, if this job is not complete by this month and my finance expect the project manager to report the total WIP cost and total WIP sales for the specific job, we are required to run the calculate WIP and post to GL. Okay, this features is one of the features for the finance or the project managers to calculate and post the WIP into the balance sheet and P&L. If today the job has been completed, we just need to update the job status as complete, and then all the costs will post into the GL, then the project already finished, so mean end. Okay, so this is the detailed process flow for the Business Central job modules. Okay, so this one is the summary process flow. So all this I already explained just now. For the cost, we can come from process document, can come from job journal, or can come from timesheet. Depend on which scenario is fit your project or which fit your jobs. Okay, and for the sales, it will be to the sales invoice and bill directly to our customer through the job card itself. Then for the WIP calculation, it will reflect to our GL finance, means you can either use the calculate WIP and post to GL function, it's a periodic activities, or we just update the job status as complete. Okay, so this is the summary part of the process flow. So let's move on to the job list. Okay, so from here, what we can see is first, we can see that there is a different jobs, multiple jobs in the list over here, and by mouse over and select the different jobs, the fact box here, fact box refer to this one, okay, over the details fact box here, we can see all the total WIP costs and WIP sales, and also any recognized costs and sales for this specific job. So instead of go into each of everyone to see the details, we can have a summary view on the total WIP by select each of it through the fact box. Of course, if there is any attachment you would like to upload in the job, you can also use the attachment fact box to upload your job related document. It could be either in a Word format, a PDF format, or Excel format, or whatsoever, okay, as long as support by the .NET. Okay, so this is the interface as a job list. So another place we can see that there is a job header. So whenever we click into the job order, then you bring us to the job card page. So from here we can see there is a multiple fast tab over here. So for the except the task fast tab, for the rest of the fast tab, normally we call it header part, because all this is header related, and task will be by line, we call it line tab. Okay, so okay, so today when you drop down the general fast tab, this will be the fields. There's a multiple fields that you can see over here. Okay, so the first thing, of course, you need to select what is the customer for this specific job, and the rest of the info will auto-populate based on the MasterCard setup. So it means that if you already set up who is the primary contact for the customer, then it will all populate accordingly. So then you can define who is the project managers or any person responsible for this specific job. You can define on the general FASTag. And then of course we're having the posting FASTag. Okay, posting FASTag normally will be able to preset in the job setup page. So it means that your user is not need to change anything. The system admin just need to preset the related job posting rule, WIP method in the job setup. So all this will be auto-populated whenever project manager create a new project. Okay, then of course we're having the duration and foreign trade FASTag. Excuse me. Okay, duration FASTag is for the project manager to define when is the start date and the end date for this specific job. So you can estimate a starting date for this project and estimate an ending date for this project. Of course, the creation date is not editable. It's just the date when the project manager created this job, this project. And foreign trade is for you to record the currency code. It could be the currency code or invoice currency code. The difference here is currency code is used to reflect all those costs and how you want the system to present the cost inside or the price inside the job task line. How this job is under which currency. When you leave it blank means that it will be local currency. Invoice currency code, if you leave it blank, it will follow the currency code defined inside the customer card. Okay, then the last header FASTag will be WIP and recognition. Okay, all these fields here will not be editable. It's just a statistic FASTag for the project manager to have a look on the what is the total WIP and for sales and costs accrued for these specific jobs and how much has been posted to the GL. Okay, so here is just a statistic FASTag. And then now we move to the task line. So we call it job task line. On the job task line here, we can see that this is a sample setup as a project manager. The default can be preset inside the Business Central job card itself. So over here, what we can see, we can blend different phase. So it means that in order to complete this, for example, reception area remodel, in order to complete this job or this project, we might go through 3 phases. Phase 1, planning and spec. Phase 2, we need to demo. Then phase 3, we do the installation. So there's 3 steps for us to complete this job. And then we can plan. In order to complete the planning and spec, we need the consulting service. And then we need client to review and sign off. And then we can put in all those budgeted costs, means that all those costs that we can foresee. It could be the resource allocation, it could be the inventory and consumption, all those things that we are expect to be accrue, all those costs we expect going to accrue for this specific job, we can put it into it accordingly. Okay, so here is the job task line. And by clicking into the job task line, due into the each job task line, we can see what is the job planning. So from here, we can see in order to complete the consulting service, we will assign one of our consultant, Catherine. So, and this Catherine will be both, the line type we use is both budget and billable. So we put it estimation is we need 20 hours to complete the consulting service. And then we put both budget and billable, means that we will only bill our customer based on the actual time spent by Catherine. If Catherine today spent only 18 hours, so means that we only bill our customer 18 hours. So this is the job planning line. Of course, we can have multiple job planning line for each task. Then another interface that show here will be the job journal. So from job journal here, you can see if we don't have that much of user and we not expect all our user to record their actual time spent into the timesheet itself, actually we can use the job journal. It's another shortcut method, means that we don't go through that approval process for the actual time spent by our resource. We just toss it through the job journal. Of course, if there any internal inventory expenses, the consumption inventory consumption, we post it through the item in the job journal as well. And any expenses that accrue internally, those we didn't have any outsourced one, we just go through the GL. Then when we post through the job journal, all these costs will reflect into our job card. Then the next one, we will talk about the job WIP method. So standard, we have 5 job WIP method. Okay, this one because the WIP method is more towards the finance, and today the objective for us to introduce the basic on the project management. So this is some of the job WIP method available inside the Business Central. Okay, of course, different WIP method have different calculation formula. So all this part we won't talk on this due to this limitation. But when we're having job training, means that if you are interested on the Business Central job module, you feel free to schedule with any consultant or any salesperson or drop us, our company, a support email to arrange for the training, and at that part we will have further discussion on the which WIP method should suit your business scenario. Okay, so then over here we can see there is a job WIP list. So job WIP list is actually a page for the project manager or management to view the overall summary view on all the jobs and what is the actual WIP for each of the jobs. And you can even extract it to the Excel to do your business analysis through the pivot or through the JET report and other tools that are available in the market for you to do the analysis. Okay, so that's all for the introduction part for the jobs. Okay, so now the next topic we will move to the job orders. So from here we will show the job order, job task, job planning line, and also resource allocation and timesheet, how it looks like. And also the lastly one is also the important part. We are having the copy functions for job. Because just now you see that if today as a project manager, I need to plan that all the tasks every time. If this one is a repeating job, then it will be troublesome to the project manager. So that's why we provide the copy function. With the copy function means that project manager can copy over the historical jobs or can create a job template, copy the job template over. So then they just need to adjust some, do the minor adjustment on the job task. Then they can direct convert the job to be open for the user to post all those calls into the specific job instead of recreate everything again. Okay, so for this job order, we will share direct do the demo inside the system itself. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, I hope everyone can see my screen here. So this will be the interface when today you are the project managers and log into the Business Central. So this will be the first interface that you see if you log into the Business Central as the project managers. Okay, so as mentioned just now, so we have multiple cubes over here to serve for different purpose. So then scroll down, we also have any pending user task. Okay, this one is by the user basis. Any approval that pending for my approval. Of course, there is any pending timesheet. Okay, so this is the job my job list that I mentioned just now. Today, for example, if I'm the project manager for the specific jobs, and then the jobs will auto reflect into my job list. Okay, so here you can see there is only 4 jobs. It does not mean that only 4 jobs in this company, but it just means that this 4 jobs belong to me. The rest of the job, I might not be the project manager. Means that one company might have multiple project managers. So different project managers will only see their own jobs. So then we can have the quite nice looking chart over here to have a look on the actual job cost and the budget cost. Is there any variance? Okay, so of course we can see that any profitability of our job. And lastly will be the Power BI that I mentioned just now. If today your job is if today your company have utilized the Power BI and you want to link it into the Business Central, you can actually link it to your dashboard. Of course, you have designed your own Power BI there first, then you link it to the dashboard itself. Okay, so just now we mentioned, we take a scenario. For example, today as a project manager, we receive a new project from our client or new job is coming in. So there is 2 methods. One, we either click on the job list to see any job that is outstanding, is to see the whole full list, or we can use the search function. Search function means that we can use over here and we type jobs. Okay, if we don't want to view the list, we want to directly create a new job, then we can click create a new job. So as a project manager, we just create a new job. So when we click on it, yes, okay, sorry, this one is because I activated the face. Okay, I just need to select who is the customer. Okay, this one you can, of course, you don't need to do this if you don't want to create from existing job. You can just go to the job list and create a new one. So over here, what we can do is we can define, is there any template that has been created? Okay, for this demo purpose, I already create a different template for this job. So I want to take the time and material template. I want to copy the job task for all the job tasks that I already planned over there. Then I just select everything. Then I just click OK. So I want to copy over the quantity, copy over dimension. Okay. Then I don't want to define the start date and that means that I want to copy all the tasks no matter what is the date. So I just click OK. So then the system will tell me the job has been copied successfully. So then we click finish. So from here, what we can see that we can see all the related job tasks, job planning line is all being copied over. Of course, the reason why we have the budget cost here is because I copy all over the job task. If today you don't want to copy the job task, you just need to exclude the job task quantity when you copy the function. Means that if you only copy over the task without the quantity, so you won't have the job planning line. Okay, all this is the setup that I already preset in the template. So then we just need to put in the description. So this one I will put a new, I put a webinar, new demo project. Okay. So from here we can see all the related info will populate over. So if today I want to define myself as a project manager, I just select my own ID. So then I will be the project manager for this job. So then I will need to adjust my budget, of course. Okay, this one budget, we want to go into the line. I want to see how come there is a 1,500 cost over here. I just go to the job planning line. So from here, we can see that I put the Linda as both budget and billable and put the Mark as the budget. Okay, the scenario I set in this template is Linda is the senior consultant and Mark is the junior consultant. So it means that I will only bill our customer for the actual time spent by Linda because Linda is the one that's doing the job. Mark is just the junior, just trying to learn together with the Linda. So I can't bill the actual time spent by Mark to our client. So I put it as a budget because the cost that's spent by Mark will be my project cost. Okay. So then I put Linda as a both budget and billable. So it's total 40 hours. And of course, in order to use this system software, then client will need to purchase 10 pack, means the user license, and then this will be the cost, for example. So by do this job planning line, then I will have able to see what is the budget. Okay, so we have the total budget cost and billable total cost means that because there is 200 costs belong to Mark. The actual time spent by Mark will not be billable, so that one will not be a billable cost. So means that, of course, the actual cost will only reflect when we post the actual timesheet or post through the actual time spent through the job journal. Okay. So from here, we also having the budget total price means that how much we can actually budgeted the price and how much out of it will be billable. Of course, it will change to actual total price only when we convert it to the sales invoice itself. Okay, so from here, as a project manager, we actually only need to insert any additional job task planning. So for example, for develop phase, I will need to allocate another new resource coming in. And this develop one, I will select be both budget and billable. I can either select resource, item, or GL. So for example, I will allocate Mary to help on this. So then I will put in the Mary time spent for this develop. For example, 100 hours to do the development. Okay, the unit cost and unit price will auto-populate based on my resource price and cost setup. Of course, if I want to change it, I can change it manually. If no, I just leave it. So then if any planning or maybe I will spend another items, but this one I will not be able to bill my customer, so I will just put item. So if there any item that I might spend, I can put it over here, or any service. So for example, I want to outsource some service for my resource, for this develop phase, then I could put in, okay, I will put it as the consultant service. Means that I want to outsource consultant from outside, maybe 10 hours in order to assist Mary to complete this task. So I put in the cost. So maybe I estimate it will be 100 per hour. So total cost will be 1,000. Then if today the charging is above 100, then it will be my actual cost. Then it will become over budget for this specific task line. Okay. So then from here we can see we can have multiple line over here. This one is we can of course we need as a project manager we need to define all these details over here. Then of course we can define the start date, end date as I mentioned just now. Assume the start date will be the 1st of December. You need to put in all details over here. So we can have all these, end date, of course, end date cannot be the lesser than the start date lah. Okay, sorry, okay, now this is correct already. Okay, then now we don't have anything yet. Okay, so that one will be the job order. So when the status equal to open means that this job is very ready for the user to pump in all the costs. Okay, so after the job order, the second topic that we'll talk about will be the job purchase. In the job purchase, what we can see here, okay, for the job purchase, we have two topics. It can either be convert the cost from purchase order or purchase invoice. So from here, we will show direct for the purchase invoice. Okay, so I go back to my slide. Sorry, go back to my system screen. Okay, so today, whenever we want to purchase the cost from the, means we purchase something, some service, the outsource from outsider, we create a new purchase invoice. Then we, of course, we need to select the who is the vendor. Then we purchase the service. Then I just need to key in my service code. Then maybe my one just now we plan is 10 hours, but when we purchase, then end up consultant spend 11 hours. My supplier want to bill me 11 hours, and the cost still remain 100, assume, but it's extra 1 hour spent over here. So I just put in. Then of course I need to select the job number to link this cost into the specific job. Okay, webinar new project demo and job task. Just now it's under develop phase. I just put into it. But because this is over budget, this is not a budget line, so I just no need to put in the line type. But this one is, then I need to put it. So then I just put in the invoice number. So then, of course, if there is any approval, I need to send for approval. If not, I just release this document. Okay, so assume I received my supplier invoice. So I just pause it. Pause. Yes. Okay, because this one is not within budget, so it tells me is that do I want to compete because the usage will not link. So I just click yes. So then it will convert to the posted invoice. So the cost equal to 1,100. Okay, so then if today now we go back to our job card itself. Okay, for this job, you can see we have the actual total cost is 1,100 being recorded over here. Okay, so this is the way when how we got the job purchase cost. Okay, if today there is a viewable line, so from here we can see for analysis phase we have 1,900, and of course we have the budget cost over here. We want to record the actual time spent by the Linda and also the Mark. Okay, so 40 hours here, but because due to the limitation, we just tell you there is a time sheet, but now I will use the job journal to record the actual time spent. So I just go to the job journal itself, and then I put in the jobs, which job I want to record. Okay, I put in the job task as well, analysis phase. Okay, document number I can put today date, for example, 25th. Any document number will do that. Okay, then we put Linda. Okay, of course I want to put also the Mark time spent. Linda and Mark has been on site to the client side to do the support. So Linda maybe spent 35 hours actual time spent, and Mark only spent 25th hour. So for example, okay, then I just pause over the actual time spent to the specific job. So then I just pause through the because this one I will be just pause it. Okay, once I pause successfully, then we will have the actual cost reflect over here for the time spent by the Linda and the Mark. Okay, so the one is for the job purchase, and sorry, the job journal, how we record the cost into the specific job card. Okay, so lastly we will talk about the billing. Okay, so once we've done the job purchase and job journal record all those actual time spent. Of course, lastly, we will need to bill our customer. So how we can bill? One, we can go into the details to do the billing line by line, or we can actually create the sales invoice by task basis. Means for each phase, I can direct convert it to the sales invoice through this function. Instead of go into the line and create it line by line, I can convert multiple billable line into the single sales invoice. So assume that I will still have, I want to bill the remaining one, the total one, I just put OK. So when I click on it, then the system will tell me one invoice is created. Means that all my billable line in this specific task will be converted into one sales invoice. So I can just click on it to view the details. So from here, I just need to click open. So then I can see all the details. Okay, so from here, we can see that it will bill 40 hours because I didn't go into the line to change the actual time spent to 20 to bill it only 20 hours. But if today I want to bill only the single, for example, I click notice that, hey, this one, Linda only spent 35 hours, I don't want to bill 40 hours. So means this create lonely, so we just delete it. Then we can go into the job planning line, means that for the task we due into it, go to the job planning line. And I only want to bill Linda time spent, so I want to transfer only 35 into the sales invoice. Okay, based on the actual time spent by the Linda, I only want to bill this 35 hours. So then I just update quantity to transfer to invoice as 35. Then I go to the process and create sales invoice. Then I click OK. So then the quantity will be transferred to the sales invoice. So from here, we can open up back the sales invoice. So as you can see, only 35 hours has been billed to our customer. Of course, there is any approval request, we need to send approval. Okay, so this is some of the features inside the job modules for Business Central. Okay, thanks for your time. And if you have any question, you can feel free to ask during the Q&A section later on.
Okay, hi. Sorry. So I just wanna drop by here. Thanks, Casey, for the helpful tips. And a lot of customers like that we also help, they don't really use or know how to use the job functions to manage their projects. So I hope that was helpful. So one note here, before we get on to the next segment, I understand that there is a problem with the Q&A function. So in order for you to send the Q&A session, the Q&A questions that you have or any concerns that you have that you want us to address, I know it's a little bit troublesome, but please bear with us. You can scan in this QR code. It will lead you to a WhatsApp link, and you can just drop your messages and we'll be able to address them live. Or alternatively, we will be sending a recording of the webinar, and you'll be able to respond to that email with your questions. All right, so moving on to the next segment, we have a guest speaker with us today, and that's Raymond from Pagera. Gonna put you up on the screen now in a second. Okay, so Raymond is the ASEAN MD for Pagera, and Pagera, if you have not heard of them before, Pagera is actually our CRT partner, and they actually do PEPL solutions. And in Singapore, our BC is actually PEPL. Our BC Microsoft Dynamics 365 Business Central system is actually IRAS and IMDA approved solutions. So a little bit about Pagera. Pagera is actually a smart business network that helps businesses connect with their clients and their suppliers through e-invoicing. And what they really stand for is really automated, compliant, and secure transactions, and helping you to streamline your order to cash and purchase to pay. So with that, I would like to let Raymond take the reins now. Raymond?
Thanks. Let me just quickly share my screen first.
Sure, let me
see my screen.
Yeah, I'll pull it up.
Yeah.
Going across. All right, there you go.
You see it? Just full screen?
Yeah, full screen.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, CRT, and Keisha for slotting a short session today, for me to highlight the e-invoicing that we have developed. Just to create the awareness that this has been integrated with CRT for Microsoft PC or Navision's community. Hi everyone, my name is Raymond, head up as partner manager for ASEAN region for Pagera. I am based out of Singapore. Today I'm pleased to use 5 to 7 minutes just to briefly share who, what, and how we can help as Pagera company partnering with CRT in e-invoicing. Many will agree in adopting tools used for communications between and among people today has been well in advance. We have transformed from using traditional way of writing letters to handheld device to today smartphones when communicating with people or friends. However, we do not see this happening yet when communicating between business documents. Analog way is still highly practiced. There is no connectivity between your buyer and sellers within the business documents into a digital or automated way. We still send hard copies invoices, PO, email in PDF, which is not e-invoicing. So looking from the AR perspective, we continue to see challenges in companies spending on papers, toner for printers, buying stamps, etc. Delays in payment from customers due to loss of invoices or errors. Manual input when your buyer received the invoice resulted in poor data and inaccuracy. And from the AP perspective, we still see companies spending longer cycle in three-way matching procedure. If hard copies are received with the pandemic, might have delay in processing supplier invoices, resulted loss of discounts, or worse still, loss of credibility from suppliers. On the other hand, by digitalizing both the buying and selling process, we are essentially able to prevent human interventions, producing better quality and actionable data, improve efficiency, and ultimately saving costs. Therefore, why communication or communicating business documents still manual? What is the missing elements or link? It is the connectivity. Essentially, what Pagera does is to create a network for ERP or accounting software, just exactly like your smartphone require a mobile operator to make and receive calls, and ERP without a network is like a phone without an operator. So what is the main drivers that drive towards both CRT and Pagera coming together to enable the digitalizations of your business documents, i.e. the e-invoicing, PO, etc. Firstly, in order to create a digital economy, the government of your countries are regulating digital documents exchange in a standardized way. Later on in the slides, I will share what Singapore has done from this perspective, and Malaysia is reviewing the similar approach. Next, from the B2B perspective, through automations, we achieve simplifications and increase efficiency. And lastly, is all about the accuracy of our data to have a quality and actionable data. In this diagram, we are illustrating as a service provider for the network. Pagera focus is to provide solutions to the challenges you are encountered today within the purchase to pay, which is the AP, and order to cash, which is the AR. Having both end of your trading partner connected through Pagera or any approved open network, essentially, we are facilitating the exchange of your business communications in an effective, faster, and accurate manner, making sure buying and selling process can be easy, free up your time in building your core business. Therefore, Singapore through IMDA, the government has adopted e-invoicing through a PEPO infrastructure, which is rebranded to InvoiceNow. I'm sharing this model as Malaysia government through MDEC is in the pilot phase, reviewing the similar model to roll out the B2B and B2G. Due to pandemic, this got slightly delayed. However, nothing stopped enterprise start reviewing your internal process and make necessary changes, as we explained earlier, the other two drivers that drive such automations. Through PEPL, the format will be standardized, routing of the invoices can be digitalized. So how does this partnership with CRT helps you as a Microsoft users to achieve the same end-to-end automations? Firstly, note that this partnership will allow a Microsoft user to send and receiving electronic invoices via Pagera as an open network operator provider, conforming to the required format for B2B and B2G. Example, if you are suppliers to the government bodies. Note again, this integration with Microsoft will work for both inbound, which is the AP, and the outbound AR invoices. Pagera do support business documents beyond invoices. We can enable companies to digitalize such as PO, dispatch advisors, etc. as well. If you have supplier or clients outside of your countries, Pagera has the capabilities to onboard your trading partners so as to achieve 100% digitalizations. Today, we have support to more than 70 plus country requirement across 140 countries. In this final slide, I just some of your global Microsoft customer using Pagera e-Invoicing. The extension or such add-on features for e-invoicing that we have developed together with CRT will support you on the Microsoft BC365 version as well. So once again, thank you for listening in. So do get in touch with CRT for a demo. But yeah, we can take the any questions offline later on as well. And thank you. Over to you, Keisha.
Okay, thanks, Raymond, for that segment. You know, I like to, when I share about Pagera, I like to share also what I like about Pagera, and that is, you know, that Pagera stands for the concept of buying and selling should be easy, right? It really helps you to extend your reach globally, and you'll be able to, you know, do business with companies who are outside of your typical geographical area, which is very exciting for any business, I'm sure, if you are looking at extending beyond borders. So yes, for the last segment, I'll be talking about the SME Digitalization Grant by MDEC and BSN. And this is what we're going to run through. So I'll talk about an introduction of the grant, the benefits for SMEs, and eligibility criteria. So how do you know whether you are or you can apply for the grant? I'll share with you about the application workflow and also the approved solutions that we have. So to build a digital Malaysia, the private sector must come on board. And as mentioned by the government in the Malaysian Budget 2020, more Malaysian small medium enterprises need to adapt to digitalization measures for their business operations. And in order to do that, they've actually come up with 7 digitalization areas that are identified by the Initiative Task Force, as you can see on the screen. Okay. So what is this grant all about? And in very simple terms, it is the government giving you some money to help you with your digitalization plans or to secure some solutions that can help you. So in order to assist companies in digitalization, the government has set aside RM 500 million to provide a 50% up to 5,000 ringgit matching grant per company for the subscription of approved services in the 7 areas identified earlier. What does this mean for you then as a business owner, right? So yeah, government giving grant and all is good, but what does it mean for me? So in the face of very vastly different business landscape that we are today, it's a very good opportunity for businesses to refresh and renew. So you can use this grant to get solutions that can help you appeal to digital savvy customers, the customers of today and the future. It can help you to build new capabilities. For example, you can go into e-commerce, you can automate certain processes, or even create new products and services. The third opportunity here would be, to help you build a more resilient business, not affected by remote work or lockdowns, which are very unpredictable today. And it can help you have better business continuity, increase your efficiency, and also allow you to do more and to do better. And it can help you to build a better business agility. So having a more agile business will help you to navigate and really adapt to challenges. And lastly, also in line with what Pagera does, is actually it'll help you to reach globally. So while reaching globally is a lesser known or a lesser thought of benefit of digitalization, it is actually the fastest way for businesses to actually move out of domestic and geographical locations and expand globally, because you are no longer limited by borders. So this grant is actually expected to last until 2025 to allow more companies to come on board. But if you've been doing the math, you will realize that because 5,000 ringgit per company, you're actually looking at really the first 100,000 SMEs only. So time is really ticking. So how would you know if you are eligible, right? It's a very simple checklist. So first thing is your company has to be, or your entity has to be a company or cooperative registered in Malaysia under the applicable laws. Or cooperative, I think you have to be registered under the SKN. Okay, second one is ownership. You have to be at least 60% owned by Malaysians. If you're a sole proprietor, then you're 100% owned by Malaysians, so no problem, right? But if you do have different shareholders in the company, do make sure that at least 60% are Malaysian. And the business must be in operation for at least 6 months. So unfortunately, this will not be applicable to startups that are less than 6 months old. And the last criteria is you need to have a minimum average sales turnover of 50,000 ringgit. So how does it work? Unlike other grants and subsidies, there's no need for you to pay 100% upfront and wait for the claim to reimburse to you if it is approved. Okay, so it really gives you a lot more security in that sense. The application process is pretty simple. So firstly, we typically provide all documents that you need for the application right from the get-go. So once you've decided what solutions you're interested in, all you have to do is just fill in the form with your company details and compile copies of the required documents, which is in a list that we'll provide to you, and then send it back to us. Then from there, BSN will notify you if your application has been processed. So if it's processed and approved, all you have to do is pay the 50% of the total invoice amount, or the total invoice amount less the expected grant amount if it is for a solution that is more than 10,000 ringgit. And remember to obtain a proof of payment either via the bank transaction receipt or a screenshot or any official documentation, because this needs to be submitted to the bank, and that's all you need to do really. Because after that, what happens is BSN will then take over to complete the administrative process, and they will reimburse the claim. They will disburse the claim directly to CRT. So by then, you already have the license. You'll already be able to start using your solution. And the whole process is very transparent and really does not require you to pay 100% upfront, and that definitely will help with your cash flow. Okay, so these are a couple of, I jumped the gun a little bit. So these are a couple of the solutions that we have under 3 different areas actually. So we have procurement, which is the e-invoicing and PEPAL solution that Raymond shared with us earlier. We do have remote working for Microsoft 365 and also a couple of the apps that we've created ourselves. And under ERP and accounting, of course, we have Business Central, we have Acumatica versions, and a few more apps that we've developed. So if you're interested in any of this, I'll give you a link later on that you can go into and let us know what you want us to share more details about. So earlier, if you were not able to check the criteria or if you're still not sure whether you will be eligible or not, don't worry, because we have a eligibility self-assessment tool. So you can scan in this QR code, or you can go on to this link over here, and that will take you to a very simple form where you fill in. It's a step-by-step form. You just fill it in as you go along, and it will actually tell you whether, okay, you're likely to be eligible or you're not likely to be eligible. And from there, what are the steps that you can take? So if you happen to be like a borderline case, not sure whether you are eligible or not, it will actually tell you, okay, what are the alternatives, what can we do, and etc. So it's a very useful tool. I do suggest that you guys actually go on to it and check it out, whether or not you're intending to, you know, take up any solution. And secondly, the second link is if you have any inquiries about any of the MDEC solutions. If you know definitely, okay, I am definitely eligible for the grant, I want to know more about the solutions. So you can just go ahead to the inquiry form and we'll get back to you on any of the details of the solutions that you are looking at. Last part that I would like to share is, again, coming back to the Q&A. I'm so sorry about the inconveniences, but yeah, if you have any questions about today's sessions, whether for the project management presentation by Casey or the PEPAL e-invoicing presentation by Raymond or the MDEC solutions, please do scan in this QR code or WhatsApp me. My number is there on the screen. You can go into that link. I can go directly onto WhatsApp. And I'll be able to take your question, or if we are not able to address it today, then we'll send you an email. Please take a second to help us scan this QR code and fill in a feedback form so that, you know, we can improve as well. We've actually come to the end of our session today. Phone hasn't been ringing yet, so I hope if you're able to, or if you have any questions, please send them in. Even after this session, it's not a problem. I'll actually get back to you on your queries. And also we'll be sending you the recording or a link of the recording of the session. And if you have any questions later on, just feel free to reply the email and then we'll get back to you. All right, that brings us to the end of our session today. Thank you so much for all your time. Thanks, Raymond. Thanks, Casey.
Thank you, everyone.
So yeah, we'll see you in the next webinar, and we'll be sending the details out once it's been finalized. Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.